What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the farm. Conditions have been absolutely perfect the past 2 days for a huge sap run. About 4 days ago, it was in the 20s. It didn't hardly even get up to 30 degrees. So we had a couple of days of a real good freeze. Then Saturday, it started to warm up a little bit, but then Sunday, yesterday, we hit almost 60 degrees. And the sap really started to get flowing a little bit yesterday afternoon while I was doing a big boil. But today, I checked a few buckets already and they are just absolutely overflowing. So I'm gonna jump on the four-wheeler real quick, go around, empty my buckets here at the farm, and then I gotta go back to my parents' house. I stopped by there after work on my way home, and boiling yesterday, wasn't thinking, didn't put all my buckets back in my truck, so I didn't have enough to offload everything at their house either. So I've already got about 30 gallons that I've offloaded back in the sugar shack. I got the RO going. We're gonna let that run for the whole evening while I'm around tonight, and we'll be ready for another big boil here probably in a couple of days. Quick shout out to my dad. He put these boxes together for me. They are perfect for hauling around the sap buckets. This tree's been a decent producer here for me recently. Probably about 2.5 gallons. To the next one. Another half full. All right, here's a fiver. Even a couple little bonus ants. Those come in for free. All right, now here's a question for you sugar and vets out there. This tree here was one of my, if not the best producer early on. And over the last 4 or 5 days, it is pretty much dried up. I'm not really getting anything out of it. I assume that means that the season's getting ready to wrap up, even though some of the other trees are really producing better now. Like the ones that weren't producing well early on have really picked up. And my good producers, this one here, and then there's another one over at my parents' house where I'm tapped that, I mean, it was giving me 3, 4, 5 gallons every single day, steady, and they both have like dried up. So I'm sure that means that this is probably almost done for the season, but is that kind of indicative that maybe the rest of it is getting ready to be done for the season? Do they kind of all kind of stagger like that usually? I don't know. If you've got experience with it, let me know about it down in the comments. What's up, birdos? All right, I got all of my sap collected over here at my house. It's about another little more than 25 gallons. So the RO is just absolutely flying through it right now because everything is warm. I'm gonna make sure that I get it good and chilled down because I won't be boiling tonight. I'm gonna get it good and chilled down. I got some frozen gallon jugs of water that I'll be putting in here to make sure that it stays fresh. But it's already gotten through about 10 gallons of sap. Got my bucket that I'm doing my permeate into, my fresh water, and then I got my concentrated sap coming out here. I got another video about the RO bucket that I have, my reverse osmosis system. If I can figure it out, I will put a link to it right here. So this is one extra step. I've seen people do it, I've seen people not do it, but I always run it through one of the little pre-filters as I'm putting it into my containers. Just to catch any, I mean, like you saw, especially now that it's getting warmer out, the bugs are starting to come out. There's sugar in the sap. Bugs are gonna find it. I don't really think there's anything you can do about it. Get that all filtered out. Any twigs, sticks, leaves, anything that might have fell in it. I mean, you're in the woods. For me, it's just one less thing to have to go back later and clean out of my evaporator. There's already so much sugar, sand, niter, and everything that builds up. I don't need to go adding any more debris to it. It's already enough of a job to get it clean. Got 4 more I gotta empty real quick over here, and these ones are my favorite because they're right next to the driveway, and I can go right straight into the truck. So it hasn't even quite been 2 hours since I was over here. When I emptied the other buckets earlier, like I said, I ran out of space, so I had to run back over here. Hasn't even been 2 hours yet. This tree right here has been one of my really good producers. I'm gonna check to see what it's done in the last 2 hours. So, I mean, that's another maybe a half a gallon in less than 2 hours. I mean, it is gushing today. It is just flowing like crazy. Well, got the last of it wrangled up finally. Got about another 12 to 13 gallons loaded up here. We'll see you guys back at the farm in just a second. So in the short 40 minutes that I was away, the RO was able to get through about another 10 gallons. This 5-gallon bucket was overflowing by the time that I got back. So if there's 5 gallons of permeate, that means that it also put out about 5 gallons of concentrate. It had already done more than 5 before I left. So we'll put that at about 12 to 15 gallons of each that it's processed already. So that's about 30 gallons of sap that it's run through in about 2 hours. This is a 35-gallon trash can back here, and it is just about full, so we'll call that about another 30 gallons. So it's about a 60-gallon day, so it really was flowing. So while the RO finishes up doing its thing, I'm gonna go ahead and use some of that permeate water to go ahead and get my evaporator all cleaned out, get all the niter and sugar sand rinsed out of it, get it prepped and ready to go for when we do a real boil later in the week. Quick look at the syrup that I made yesterday. Sorry I didn't get any video, but it's really getting dark, this late season stuff, and as you can see, those are big 2-quart jars, so it was a pretty good day yesterday. Well, y'all, that's about gonna wrap it up for this video. If you enjoyed it, be sure you hit that syrup button, leave a comment for me down in the sap section, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and until next time, y'all, we'll see you. Wow. Productive day today, ladies.